Welcome back on this glorious and amazing day within nature, the greatest place in the world to be. It's good for your body and good for your soul. So I mentioned last week that I'm going to give maybe a couple of examples, practical examples, how to respond to your wife that you thought she was crazy, but really she is not crazy. She comes home one day and she goes, oh, my head is splitting. Oh, my head is splitting. A good, lovely husband, through the lens of a male brain, would say, honey, could I bring you an Advil, a cup of water? That's the worst thing you could do. There are some women that will be fine. Most of them will not. What are you meant to do? What questions could you ask? So before you spoke about listening to their stories, there's no story. She came home, she said, I have a splitting headache. So if I'm not going to try to fix it, what am I supposed to do? Just go, you have a headache? She'll say, I have a headache. Yeah, that's what I said. What am I meant to do? Simple. I tried it. It works. So sorry to hear you have a headache. What time did it start? That's it. You took care of it. Well, and there the expression begins. Well, what happened was when I woke up, it was like, on and off. It was something like, I don't know, about 11:10, out of nowhere, like boom. And then she'll tell you minute to minute what happened from 11:10. Well, she's not sure. Wait 1 second. No, it's actually 11:09. And she'll tell you till work was over till 4. And she'll have more stories. How she was going to tell someone, but then she decided not to because she already had a headache last week, and then they might suspect that something. This headache might be a 15-minute ordeal, but that's what works. And not only that's what works, like, oh my gosh, that's part of the deal. That's marriage. You don't like it, she'll tell you, guess what? You want me to be available 5 times a week, more than 15 minutes, for at least a half an hour. Can you imagine me as your wife telling you, again, how many times? 5 times a week. And what do you say as a man? How dare she say that? I know biology, I know sexuality. That's what men need. I'm only 27, I'm only 32. That's quite normal. 3-5 times a week. That's what I'm trying to tell you men. For you, sex is normal 3 to 5 times a week. For her to express herself and her feelings and her thoughts is also 10 to 20 times a week. Marriage is not a one-way street. You want her to be available whenever you have the need or urge to take care of your plumbing, but you can't take care of her electricity and her waves. It's a two-way street. We all are humans, husband and wives, but we have very different needs. And it's not you're doing her a favor. It's not, okay, I'll listen to her again. This is part of the package. And as I mentioned before, if you feel this is not for you, you should have gone through this before you got married, before you started dating. Marriage is not for everyone. You've got to go through your own therapy first before you get married. You need to be connected to yourself. You need to first accept yourself, then connect yourself, then like yourself, then love yourself. Then you could take care of someone else. Most of us don't have the first 4. Most of us didn't really accept ourselves, and therefore we didn't connect to ourselves, and therefore we don't like ourselves, and therefore we don't love ourselves, and obviously we have no patience to love the other person. The second example, I forgot. So if I remind myself before next week, I'll share it in the next clip. If not, we are going to start the next series, which is called My Husband is Crazy. So the woman thinks, and we will debunk that as well. But till then, you might want to read or reread or listen to the audiobook, Men Are From Mars and Women Are For Venus, or any other beautiful book out there that explains the differences, the deep differences within the biology, sexuality, and neuroscience of the male and the female. And this is something we should definitely study way before we get married or date. Not like most youngsters think that because we have the vibes and because we have that connection and because we have the initial love emotions that everything would be good. That's a myth that all the youngsters feel and think that they will be the first one that will make magic happen. But simply that does not work. We need to understand each other's biology and neuroscience. And until then, thank you so much for remembering that you are way greater than you think you are.